Once upon a time, in a quiet village nestled between rolling hills, there lived a poor farmer named Thomas. He worked hard every day, toiling in the fields from sunrise to sunset, yet no matter how much he labored, he barely earned enough to feed himself and his wife, Mary. Their clothes were patched, their home was modest, and their dreams of a better life seemed like distant stars, always out of reach. But Thomas never gave up hope. He believed that one day something would change, something miraculous. One crisp morning, as Thomas went out to feed the animals, he noticed something strange in the chicken coop. Among his hens and roosters stood a large white goose he didn't recognize. Its feathers gleamed like freshly fallen snow, and it looked at him with bright, intelligent eyes. At first he thought the goose must have wandered in from a neighbor's farm, but no one in the village claimed it. With no other choice, Thomas decided to keep it. The next day he went out again to check on the animals. To his astonishment, the mysterious goose had laid an egg. But this was no ordinary egg. It shimmered with a golden hue. Thomas picked it up and gasped. It was solid gold. At first he thought he must be dreaming, but when he took the egg into town, the jeweler confirmed it. Pure gold. Overnight, Thomas and Mary's lives changed. Every morning the goose laid another golden egg. Day by day their wealth grew. They bought better clothes, repaired their home, and finally had enough food on the table. Eventually, they even hired workers to help with the farm. The villagers, once pitying Thomas for his hard life, now envied his sudden fortune. But Thomas didn't mind. He was thankful. Life had finally turned around. However, as the weeks went by, a seed of greed began to grow in Thomas's heart. He started to wonder, if the goose could lay one golden egg each day, how many more might be inside it? What if, instead of waiting day after day, he could have all the eggs at once? The thought consumed him. He could be the richest man in the land. No more waiting, no more patience. Mary tried to reason with him. Thomas, we already have more than we ever dreamed of. Why risk everything for more? But Thomas wouldn't listen. The hunger for wealth had blinded him. One dark morning, while the village still slept, Thomas crept into the coop with a knife in his hand. The goose looked up at him, not with fear, but almost with sadness. Still, he did not stop. He carried out his plan quickly, convinced he was about to uncover a treasure trove of golden eggs. But when he opened the goose, he found nothing inside. No gold, no treasure. Just what you'd expect from any ordinary goose. In that single moment, Thomas realized his terrible mistake. The magic was gone. The goose that had blessed their lives with golden eggs was dead, and with it, their future prosperity. He fell to his knees, overcome with regret, but it was too late. No amount of sorrow could undo what he had done. As the days turned into weeks, the wealth Thomas and Mary had accumulated slowly dwindled. Without the golden eggs, they had no income. The hired workers left, the fancy clothes wore thin, and the repairs on the house began to fall apart again. The villagers shook their heads in pity, murmuring about greed and foolishness. Thomas had traded steady, lifelong fortune for a fleeting dream of riches. He had everything, but he wanted more. And in the end, he lost it all. Years passed, and Thomas grew old. He and Mary returned to their simple life, now wiser and more humble. They never forgot the magical goose or the painful lesson it had taught them. Thomas often sat by the old coop, watching the chickens scratch in the dirt, and whispered, "If only I had waited. If only I had been content." And so the tale of the goose that laid the golden eggs became a lesson passed down through generations. It reminded everyone who heard it that greed can destroy the very thing that brings us happiness. That sometimes patience and gratitude are worth more than all the gold in the world. The moral of the story is that greed can lead to the loss of what you already have. Patience and gratitude are often more rewarding than the pursuit of quick riches.